So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another album review of The Shield on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we're going to talk about the third album by crossover thrash metal band from Richmond, Virginia, Enforced. And their new album is called War Remains. And this is an album that's like 30 to 33 minutes in length, 10 songs. And the best way to describe this album is face ripping crossover thrash metal. It's just that good. And this is a band that right now it's very hot. You know, their first two albums are being very solid. I remember the second album, I listened to it, and there was a lot of buzz about this band. So when this band was announced that they were gonna release a third album, and they had some great singles to back it up, I was really intrigued. And this is an album that really, when I listened to it on various listens, because I listened to this album on repeat, like for at least 4 times before I could even talk about it, and I had listened to the singles prior, I can say that really sounds like old school Slayer. Very, like, the influence is uncanny. Like, when you listen to this album, you listen to riffs from Raining Blood, Seasons of the Abyss, those classic 80s to early 90s Slayer albums. But there's also a lot of like hardcore influence to this band and punk that I really think goes into the music. Unlike other crossover metal bands like Municipal Waste, to name one, where they talk more about like drinking and partying, Enforce relies more on really more mature subject matter. Like, they talk about war on tracks like War Remains, Mercy Killing Fields, Nation of Fear. So they really hone in on like the fears of what's happening in the now. And I think that's good because it gives it a more like mature subject matter, but the aggressiveness is still there. The album starts like super pummeling and super fast with Aggressive Menace, which is a great track. And again, the riffing on this album and the solos are very reminiscent of old school Slayer, like I just mentioned. Like, there's no way about it. But then you have a song like The Quickening, and that wasn't a single, but it's one of my favorites because the name of the song really goes with the song because it's really quick, and my god, the drumming on this track is like insane. When the drummer is like really like a lot of like ba 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 ba, like really hard, and the guitar like really kicks in with it. It's like you can't help but listen to this and just start moshing or banging your head like this because it's that good. The singles are great. Like Hang by My Hand has a great chorus, and when it goes like by my hand, it's like really catchy, but catchy in a way that's not corny. And that's a track that I really think is one of the standouts. Hang by My Hand, you know, the riffing is great, it's fast, it's aggressive, it's in your face. And then you have tracks like Ultra Violence, which is like a 2 minutes and 10 seconds of exactly that. You get insane fast riffing, like super fast vocal delivery, and it just keeps you wanting more. But the last single that they released, I think, is one of the best tracks on the album, Starve. And that one is pretty fast as well, but I like the shouting of the starve in the song, where they go like starve. Like, it's really songs. I like the titles where you have a title that you can scream to it, and when the chorus hits, like, it's easy to remember and chant, and that's what Starve does. But it's not fast all the way. Like, for example, on the last song on the album, Empire, they do the track does start a little bit slow, and then it starts like picking back the pace again and getting really fast. But what you get with this album is old school thrash metal. Like, there's not a whole lot of experimentation or variation, but they do it really well. Like, I think right now Enforced is the future of thrash metal. Like, this is one of the best thrash metal releases of the year, hands down. It's just great. You know, the musicianship is great. The songs are also very, you know, they're just so good. You know, you can tell that they really hone in their craft and they know what they're doing. And even though it sounds like some older thrash metals from the past, it has like their own like style to it. And I think the vocals really are top notch for me, and I think it's what sets this band apart. Like, because even though it's like very harsh and in your face, you can understand what the singer is singing, and that to me is really important, because I think the lyrics for this album are more serious subject matter, and that makes it a really kick-ass album. So if you like old school thrash metal, do not sleep on Enforced's new album War Remains, because it's just a great album. So as I said, this band I think is the future of thrash metal. So what did you think of War Remains by the band Enforced? Comment, what are your favorite tracks? I would really want to know. And if you like the videos that I'm putting out, do not forget to give me a like, and do not forget to subscribe. I have more content on the way. So until next time, this is Hector, the Shield on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you, and good night.